What up, Paul?
Let's go.
Listen, we're gonna have to revert back to the tokenization. I don't like this whole OData thing. I've made my mind. It's over. I, uh,
You don't like this whole OData thing?
yeah, I don't like this whole OData parsing thing. We need to break it into agnostic tokenization processes. You know how we kind of decided to kind of take a route. Whether we have our tokenization service be OData aware. I don't want that. I don't like that. I think we should.
Yeah, so you're talking about the model that I proposed, which
Yeah.
turned it into a three-step
Yep.
process.
Yep. This is why I'm talking to you about it because I think it's so. Here's the deal. I was just talking to a client. A big company. We're talking to them about. There a lot of people are watching us. By the way, we're talking about OData Neo, and we need to really keep things separate and simple because there are scenarios that we can't even imagine. There are scenarios out there that we can't even imagine, and people will come up with these scenarios and they will try to make, something out of it. And I am a die-hard big fan of abstraction and single responsibility. And I think the way we're treating our tokenization service today violates that. The way we're
Absolutely. So in the last session that we had, I wanted to let Joe just get it out, which is why I was a lot quieter about
yep,
it. I just
yep,
wanted him to get his point across.
yep.
Because if we just constantly sat there and said, no, 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 it's not going to work, it's not going to work, and he would just get increasingly frustrated.
That's right.
Whereas
That's
if
right.
he'd had an opportunity to actually explain it,
Yep,
here he is,
yep,
speak of the
yep,
devil.
yep. It
It
would at least, Joe would even have the chance. What's up, Joe? Joe is on his phone, by the way.
No,
He made it.
I got back in time.
Okay. So
nice.
so Joe, Paul and I we were talking, and I think we should probably revert back to agnostic tokenization service.
Yeah, sure.
The reason for that is because where are you, by the way? I don't see you. Why
I'm
are
gonna
you?
be turning my. I gotta turn
Okay,
my thing
okay.
on.
So the reason for that is because there are some scenarios that I'm not in liberty to discuss yet. Some clients, some people are interested in our work. And I think that if we combine together the OData specific to our tokenization, that becomes a little bit of a problem. Okay, because now we're in this situation. Hi, Sam, or Sam's head for that matter. Why are you,
Yeah, why
can
are you so
you,
low, man?
can you fix the camera? Respect my streams for once and fix your internet and fix your camera, fix your headset. What did you do with the headset that I gave you? Did you just throw it away? Sam,
in the trash bin.
why?
Oh,
Paul, I gave him one of these really nice Astro 50 and he just doesn't want to use it. I don't know what to do with this guy. you
You
know,
could ship it to me.
Ship it to Joe, Sam. Just take the address and give it to
yeah,
Joe.
share me the address.
Give him the address, man. If he's not gonna use it, someone else should. You know,
Yeah.
give him the camera too. Since you don't want to use anything. I don't know why. What happened to you? But okay, it's wireless. Anyway, anyway.
No, today
Okay.
I'm at the office. You told me to go using the better internet, so I came office, but I forgot the badge. I
Yeah.
cannot came into the office. I cannot come into the office, so I went outside and finished the meeting the meeting with MSI.
So what did you think about these guys? I like them.
so
They're they
I
they, they
using
want OData Neo. They want OData
yeah
Neo.
I love this guy.
He's a pretty smart guy, and
yeah,
it looks like they're also leveraging a lot of different things.
it seems
Uh,
it's a very big team.
it's an internal communication, so shut the
Oh,
fuck up. It just comes to mind, So okay, all right, let's get started. So Sam, I was just talking to Paul, and I said, okay, we just wanted Joe to kind of put his whole idea out there just so we can understand how things can go. But as of this morning, I feel really strongly about keeping our tokenization service OData agnostic, please, guys, because we won't even know what OData is by the time we're done with this project, because we can create our own protocols that are OData like protocols, and that's the point of this. You know, I don't know if you roll back some 20 sessions ago, that was one of the things Paul and I were talking about. I said, hey, you know, if you want people to add their own kind of modules, so $, like Sam did, $compute, $search. Sam, I want a grandma in Nebraska to be able to make her own OData clause, you know, and pass it into the system. And if that's the case, you know, I'm gonna have to kind of bring the conversation in, and you know, just to kind of draw a direction here. I don't think there's anything wrong with. So here's the deal. We're gonna need to categorize our tokens, and I'm just gonna run something by you guys, and then we're gonna start writing code because we really need to move forward. I think a lot of people are waiting on our work, which makes me very happy. This is exactly what I expected with these OData sessions. You know, a lot of people will be engaged, and then they're going to ask questions, and then we'll be able to kind of, you know, tailor OData to real world scenarios. Now, here's a question for you. Can you all agree with me, like we talked last time? I need to bring everyone to this. Can you all agree with me that any token that is OData related is either operational or separator or value token? Can we agree on that one?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay.
You know, we might have a bit more discreteness when we start getting right into the depths of OData, but that's something that the OData specific logic can figure out. At a basic tokenization level, I think, you know, when if we're separating out conventions from tokenization, essentially tokenization can establish that.
Okay. That means a scenario like, you know, a scenario like when you go and say, you know, $select, right? And you have an equal in here, and you have a name in here. This is easily broken down into, you know, operational, separator, and a value, just like that. Operational like this. Let me yeah, operational, separator, and then a value, just like this. So that makes this guy operational, that makes this guy separation, and that makes this guy a name, which basically means in a different scenario, the scenario that all of us were talking about earlier, which is something like filter equals, and then name, and then you have a space in here, that's a separator token, just like this. And then you have EQ sitting in there, so that becomes an operational. Here you go. And then you have another space in here, so I'm going to put that here. And then you have a token that is something like this. Just give me a second. Let me reel that in a little bit so we can there. So this is this system like this, and then we can basically go and say, I want to treat my my single quote as its own token. The equal here becomes operational. This guy becomes a separator token, so it stays green. This guy here is a separator token, so this is a green one, and then green one, and then you have a value sitting in here, that's Sam. This becomes a value. I just want an answer to this really good question. Do we want to consider this a good tokenization? Or do you want to call this entire piece a value token? And then we'll start coding if you answer this question.
I personally think they should be connected as one token.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay. Paul?
I think to do that, you'd have to understand what a literal meant, and what fundamentally means a literal in OData might be different. Like, what if this?
We don't care about the. We don't care about the character to wrap the string. It could be single quarter. It could be double quarter. So if we find a single quarter or double quarter, we will find the next
closing.
quarter and
Yeah.
the ending quarter. We consider it's a string literal. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Without
so
the single quote, without the double quote, it's if it's a valid name, for example, the name here, it's an identifier. It could be a keyword. It could be as a property name. We don't care about it, but it's a identifier. So we output is identifier literal.
So you would say that if the query was exactly the same, but those single quotes were double quotes, you'd parse it the same way, and you'd say, "Hey,
Yeah,
that's
same
one
way.
token."
It's a string literal.
Okay, I think we're making some assumptions there, but I can't see it causing any massive
I don't
issues
even
in
like
most
bringing up
cases.
type. Basically, it like the quote by itself doesn't represent a single thing that you can work with, right? And equals represents something that you can use to do something with. Name, filter, they're all something you can do something with. The single quote by itself needs that information in the middle because it's part of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's play this way, Paul. Let's take this as one single quote
Yeah.
and call it a
Another
value.
point is at the tokenized server, name and equal has the same meaning. The name here is identify. The equal is identify. There's no information about equal is the operator is answer, but it's identify. It's a keyword. It's just a word. It's not a string literal. It's identify.
It's an
Yeah, I mean,
operational though, right?
No, we don't know at the tokenized level. We don't know.
You don't know, yeah. There's no type technically yet.
Yeah, it's just a token.
Yeah. If you want to, I would almost say that while we're thinking about this and while we're planning it, you either have token characters or token things, and you have things that aren't tokens, like white space, right? They're just something we're going to ignore in the future. The only reason why we're keeping track of it now is so that we can say that our token array at the end matches a string that we're giving it. So that's the only reason why we're caring about white space right now.
Okay, so there's one more thing I want you both, Sam and Joe, to understand. It has to be reversible. I need to be able to reconstruct my original raw string query from the tokens that we created. Because when I hear you say literal, I hear you dropping things like single quotes. You're saying, oh, we don't need that. We already said it's a literal, right? But if your query coming in with a double quote, Sam, versus coming in with a single quote, you will not be able to restructure that. And that goes back to Paul's point, saying let everything have its own token and give it a strong type and let a strong enum value and let the next service do that. Go ahead.
If we pass the string as a string literal, we can say it's a single quote string literal or it's a double quote string literal. When you use the type to reconstruct the low query option, for example, we have the toString method. In the toString method for the string single quote string literal, we will put the single quote ahead and put a single quote at the end of the string.
Okay.
So the class itself has a knowledge about how to construct the string, how to generate the string when we create the low query option string later. Okay, it's the same as the equal. So typically the token kind also give us the information about the equal. Just the equal, not the equal literal. I mean, just the dollar field equal. That's the equal. So we don't need to save the character for the equal because itself it has a knowledge about the it's an equal operator. So when we do the toString for the equal, so we understand how to generate the character for the equal operator. Okay. So for example, another example is white space. So white space is a token. Okay. So we understand the white space is a token. So the token kind is a white space. We don't need to save the white space the characters into the token.
Why?
Because it's a white space token. We have the knowledge about the white space token.
Well, not really, because there's 4 or 5 different characters that could represent a white space. So just like a single quoted or a double quoted token,
You have to, you
you
have
would
to
give it
retain.
that type.
Mhm.
So I think one suggestion that I could make to get us all on the same page is we could literally just go down to 2 token types, one being white space and the other one being token, and do the exact same thing we're doing now.
If you do that,
White space, we are talking about the white space or another white space. We have a lot of white space character.
yeah, he's basically saying, what if you have 5 white spaces, right? You could have also more in a white space than a white space. Like, yeah, you could have the person, writing the query, they could throw in 5 or 6 white spaces in here.
Oh, I was actually referencing like tab or new line. Those are
Or
considered
tab or a new
Yeah, I
line.
think so.
Yeah.
So if
Oh.
we have, okay, so if we have the tab or /t/b, something like this, so it's a different literal. It's a different token different kind. It's mean. So we have a different kind class to represent the /b or /t white space. It doesn't matter. But for the multiple white spaces, if we have more than one white space,
they're all separate. They're all separate tokens.
Yeah, we will generate the multiple token is objects for all the white space, or we can just consider it's a one because we can ignore the other white space.
So
not for testing purposes, because we have to be able to relate back to the original string. So you have to keep track of either all of them in one token or all of them as separate tokens. It doesn't matter.
Okay, if that's the case, we can do something in the white space token class. We can save the number for the white space, something like this. But it's a detailed implementation. We can talk. We can leave it later.
So here's the deal. I don't want to say word and white space. I want to say there are separator tokens. And these separator tokens are always going to be one character. There'll always be one character. So if you run into that separator token, it gets parsed and tokenized as is, and you continue to parse until you hit the next separator token, unless the next token is also separator. Let's move forward with this for now, and then we could revert, anytime. You can go and say, okay, to Joe's argument, anything that is between a separator token and another separator token, let's just call it a word. Let's call it a word, right? And then, between these separator tokens, we can basically, in that sense, I want press on making this a separator token, making a single quote a separator token, and then it would look something like this, and then you go and add in whatever you want in there. So that would be Sam, and then you add in another separator token at the end. The only problem with that is that, unless it's an escaped separator token, then it's not a separator token anymore. Okay?
It would end up being grouped with whatever token that it's contained in.
Right.
So what if you do Sam apostrophe S space token, right?
Like this. You go and do this.
Sam space. No, put a space in there.
Yeah, put another white space.
Like this?
No, after Sam's.
After Sam, okay. Like this.
It's possessive, and now say after the S, like all the way at the end.
Okay.
Anyway, so if
and then space
the string,
So and then put something else, right? Just put a space in the middle of this and put more characters.
So I understand. That's what I'm saying. Like in here, if this is escaped, this will be escaped like this.
Yes.
In the URL, right? So that will tell us that this is not a separator token. But if we add a bunch,
you're missing one more case. Yeah, this case right here. So add some more characters now.
Yeah,
so
and then let's just say that this underscore here is a space just for visualization purposes, right? as long as the next one is not the closer of a separator token in here of the original separator token, then it's not a separator token.
Yeah. So that's the case.
Can we
Yeah, and
start?
I would say what we define as separators should be configurable.
Yes.
But
So,
what I
single
don't want
quote's
to do
no
is
longer a
infer.
separator token. It has
What
a purpose now.
What I don't want to do is for us to infer any knowledge that we have of OData on this stage of the process. Let's take this completely away from OData and just
that's what I'm
it's
hoping.
There's no information about the OData. It's just a tokenized service.
If we
Yeah.
do it this way, Paul,
There's
so
no
far
information about OData.
yeah, so far it's not saying anything about OData.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
But then
I
wait,
don't recall
Joe,
ever any of my arguments being OData specific.
no, they're not. But no,
Okay.
well, there you have only one.
Which
Just
one?
one argument. When you go and say something to the effect of, if you consider all of this to be one statement, Joe, then that's
Yeah.
OData.
I would not
No, it's
consider
not
that
OData.
OData. That's just tokenizing a string.
No, it's not OData. If we consider it's a horse part, it's not OData. I also share the link for about the compiler.
That's actually true.
tokenize. Yeah.
That's actually true. So just hear me out. If we do this, right? I'm just trying to run all the permutations because we need to write some code.
Yeah.
If you consider the separator tokens the way they are, then that means every separator token might have its own convention. And this convention will determine how the separator token will be treated. Do we have an agreement on that?
Yeah, I almost want to reclassify the quote, but I won't bring that topic up until we hit the scenario where we actually start implementing it.
What do you mean by reclassifying?
It's no longer a separator. You're defining a range of tokens with the quote. Like
that's also true.
Yeah.
That's also true.
That's my only complaint about it is we're classifying as a separator. It's not actually separating. It's defining a group of contiguous like characters.
But the output is still 3 tokens, Joe.
In this scenario, yes.
So it's still one
It's
separator.
just because you want it that way, though. It doesn't need to be that way.
In your ideal and perfect scenario, what would be the outcome of these 3 blocks?
They would be classified the same as filter, name, and EQ.
So these all would be just one word.
Yep.
Paul,
the only problem is now we have to, when we tokenize this, when we encounter that range character, we have to forego this normal separator logic. We can't use that anymore because now this range character is telling us that we have to act differently, and we have to now take into account escape characters.
Go ahead, Sam.
No, in my opinion, we should after the tokenized service, single quote around Sam will gone. Consider about the string in the C# or any language, computer language. We're using the double quote to wrap the string.
Can you use double quotes in the URL?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Then we have.
It's an example.
Okay, but what my point is that you have to preserve that.
Yeah.
So
do you know what, Hassan? I think we should treat both double quote and single quote wrapped strings as a single token, right? Because further down the chain, then what you can do is you can say, look, if it matters that you want the value without them, just trim. I mean, it's one line, right?
Yeah, as long as
I'm not that big of a. It's not that big of a deal. We can keep them separate for now. It's just you're gonna have to come by later on and assess everything between those and make a different token out of it.
My point is, let's just move on because I think we're pissing away time arguing over something that really probably doesn't matter from a programming point of view.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Paul. Just move on.
Okay. Okay. So the rule is gonna be, just so you guys understand, anything that's stuck between two separator tokens is considered a word. So there will be
Specific
words.
tokens.
Yeah.
So I would consider quotes, single quotes and double quotes as being characters that are part of words in the way that we're currently assessing them. So we look at like alphanumerics, for example, and we say, hey, this is but there's going to be some really weird kind of exceptions to the rule, like such as the example that you've got on screen at the moment, right? Because you're going to have these separator characters inside your literals.
That's right.
Yeah, as long as we track when we're inside a literal and when we're not inside a literal, we should be fine.
If we decide to treat this as a non-separator token, the single quote, then we're gonna need conventions. It's just how it is. We can also do something, by the way, and might be crazy, but I think it's okay. What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about going and saying, ideally, this SAM scenario, let me copy this guy here. This SAM scenario in here, you're basically going and saying, if you really want to tokenize and stay agnostic, you can basically go and say, no, here's what I know. To the best of my knowledge, this is a separator token. And then all the way up to SAM is a word token. And then there is another separator token because the problem is that we're thinking for the compiler. So let me just finish this, so you have SAM and then you have another word because it's just S. So you're going to throw that in there. It will be like this, S, SAMs, right? And then under that, you're going to go and say, oh, and then I have a bunch of white spaces sitting in here. White space, white space, white space like this. And then you can go at the very end and say, hey, and then at the very end, they left a single token in here. This way, your tokenization service is much, much simpler. Even though it doesn't make sense logically from an OData perspective, let the O node handle that. Let the O node determine whether it wants to move forward with that or not. I think that would work. I think that's okay.
That was what I was advocating from the beginning.
You're
Let's go
missing a
this way then.
character in there.
Yeah, it keeps it dead simple. And then from a conventions point of view, you can say, okay, within the context of this technology, so we're doing something, say, OData related, we can say, now we have more information because we have context.
Yep. What did you say? What did you? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish first, Paul. Finish first. Go ahead, Paul.
No, that was it.
Joe, what were you saying?
Oh, you're missing a backslash in your last.
Oh, the backslash is just for the. I guess yeah. If you have a backslash in there, you could consider that backslash as part of the SAM word, since we're just don't have a special token for it. Or you could make this backslash something else. Is the backslash used anywhere else other than escape, Sam, in an OData query? Sam hates us all at this point.
Only so far it's only for the. No, we don't need to consider the OData. Now we are talking about there's no information about OData.
Okay, it's the backslash.
We are talking about the tokenized service. So I agree with John. So it's a backslash is another token before the single quote.
So it's a separator token.
Yeah.
You could just say
if you want to do that, it's a separate token.
You could just say within the context of our framework, like most other things do, that backslash is just considered an escape character, and if you actually want a backslash in there, you put a double backslash, so you're escaping the fact that it's an escape character.
At the tokenization, we don't need to understand it's a escape or it's only escaped.
I agree with. I'm sorry, Paul, but I agree with Sam on this one. He's
sure,
right.
Yeah.
He's like, don't care. See, that's the thing. You started this, Paul, because you said let's stay agnostic. Let's say super ignorant about OData. But let me see if I can get Joe's vote.
No, the outcome of this will ultimately end with the example I was going to do anyways. Because you're going to have to process all these and then combine them into whatever O node needs anyways.
Okay,
and I would consider these just tokens, not O tokens at this point. And then just say, look, that's our token stream.
Okay, I want to say this is a big win. This is a big win for us because this is a big movement in the right direction. What's more important to me than the software is I want to put everyone's heart at ease.
Yeah. This was technically the argument that I was doing in Discord
take
a few
credit
days
for it.
back,
Go
where I'm
for
like,
it.
we're talking about the same thing. It's just
We
what
have to
level of it.
visualize.
Yeah.
Dude, we come from all kinds of different backgrounds, you know. So, you know, you have to visualize. You have. Okay, if that's the case, then I can confidently go and say, if we testing this, now you don't need conventions even. Conventions are out of the door. What? Is that right?
We just ship the convention part 1, convention part 2. Now we get rid of
And yeah, and that's okay. These folks that were talking to us earlier, Sam, they're watching, and there's many others are watching. Be like, we see what you guys are building, and we're happy that we can see that progress. Because you could have all the agile boards in the world, it doesn't mean jack shit until you actually show people what you're building and what you're working on.
Just notice something even more interesting. If you look at all your word tokens, imagine you took the original string, turned it into a character array, and then classified each character, and then said where you've got one or more word tokens in a row, just combine them into one token.
Oh,
Bang,
there he
problem
is.
solved.
There he is. That's Paul right there. There he is. He's basically saying break it all into characters, right? And the ones that stick to word type character, stick them together and ship it. That's super optimization move.
And everything else is a separator. Job done.
There it is. Questions? Comments? That means, hold on. So let me throw a wrench at this. That means that for our tokenization service, Joe, I can literally do an invalid. I can literally have something that looks like this, and it would still be valid, and it will still be parsed and tokenized. Do we agree?
Yeah, tokenization does not do any validation, and it shouldn't throw any errors unless, for some reason, it just can't process a character for
now nonsense. The only thing that's left for us, because we, every service, like, again, I'm gonna pull us all back to the standard. Try nature of everything. You're either doing validation, processing, or integration. What kind of validation does the tokenization service need to do in that case? It's just unprocessable characters. Someone putting in a UH28, I don't know, some character that we don't know how to deal with. Is that right? Like in England, you will see in England, the English folks, they don't do period when they say, so we use commas, right? When you say 1000, you say 1,000. What do you guys do in England, Paul? Do you put a dot? You crazy.
Full stop.
Full stop.
Period is called a full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to be aware of that. Today, OData just says, I don't care. We need to be aware of that. We need to allow people to internationalize. So instead of saying accept cookies, you say accept biscuits.
Yeah, I think I pointed this out earlier. Well, one of the problems that I've hit more recently in data processing from stuff that we do, at my work, we're receiving a lot of files from French companies, and our system is really inflexible, so it can only support English formatted numbers. Well, if you know what 1,000 separator is in French, you'll realize it's just a white space character, and the actual decimal place where you'd put a period or a full stop is a comma. Well, in a CSV file, in the UK at least, and certainly over America, I would understand that normally a comma would be your field separator. So now you've got to start wrapping your numbers in order to support that. Well, then it gets interpreted like a string literal, unless you change your conventions. So I guess what I'm advocating for at this point is saying, look, let's not apply any context. Let's not apply any of this kind of like former knowledge or preconception about what we think we're parsing. Let's just break it down and say, hey, here's some basic stuff. What do you want to do with it? And then just hand that off to the next thing in the process. That can be the OData bit.
That's the lesson learned about this process. I think our real struggle were to separate our minds from OData for a second and just stick to tokenization. To Joe's record, he was trying to kind of pull that kind of mindset. You know, it's just got us into a little kind of discussion. Anyway, listen. So if that's true, I'm gonna delete every code we wrote, and I'm gonna start over.
Hold on. So if in this case we should create the 2 tokens for dollar filter, right? Dollar is a token.
Do you consider the dollar its own token, not a part of a word?
It's not a letter.
It's
Yes, it's not a letter.
well. Let me say this. If I do this, it's still gonna be. It's no way in shape or form different than saying one filter blah blah. Because dollar sign in and of itself is not identified as a separator token in our dictionary.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
it
think what
depends
you're going to
on-
end up with is a list of separator characters, and you're basically going to say, hey, if the current character is not in that list, it's part of a word.
Exactly. And Paul, that would make it a lot easier for the next step to go and say, okay, let me look at these separator tokens and let me identify them in the OData context. And that's when the validation is going to start, my friend.
You don't have to rewrite any of our code. You just have to delete parts of it. And this,
Right.
all of this will just work.
Let's look at the code. So let's go to the code.
You're going to do it? We get to yell at you?
Yeah.
Nice.
I know how to write code a little, just a little.
Yeah.
You know,
Nice.
I've
do
actually
you know how to open the Visual Studio?
I just a little. Just a little. You know, you can't bully a troll. It just doesn't work.
Is that a challenge?
You could try. You know, you could try, but be careful. It's gonna fire back really bad. I still have the ability to ban you off the channel.
But you said that was impossible in a previous stream.
It's impossible, you know, but never say never, like the great Justin Bieber says, you know. This is where we get our wisdom from. Sam,
Never say
Sam,
never.
you heard of Justin Bieber, Sam?
I heard it's a singer.
Yeah, you have a daughter. Of course you heard of Justin Bieber. What are you talking about? You know, quit
My
with your
God.
nonsense.
Okay.
All right, yes, Samuel. Okay, let's go to Sam. What's your non-English name?
It's a secret.
Oh, come on, shut it with your nonsense. All right, let
自刚序
Gamachu,
自刚
Tagan.
you
Okay.
can't
You're
understand the meaning of that.
okay. Sounds good. All right, let's go back to this. You know, if Nick was here, he would freak out. Did you guys see Nick last time? He's like, how did you make the assumption that Sam is Chinese? I was like, what? America has lost its mind. We lost our minds in here. I can walk up to Paul right now. I'm like, hey, buddy. He's like, hey, why did you assume I'm your buddy? That's weird. All right, let's go back here.
You called me
And
brother in a previous stream, and I was like, do you know something I don't? What did my mum get up to?
All right, let me revert all of this nonsense for a
Or
second.
your dad. Like,
All right, okay. You guys had to kind of make it weird. Okay, so here's what we can do. We can go back to our test and renew our requirements, right? We can go back here and say, okay, first of all, my question to everybody here, are these, let's just think words and separator tokens, just words and separator tokens. That throws away this
get
part.
rid of that whole function. Yep.
This guy goes out. And then in here, does
rename that to separator tokens, the function name.
Yep, separator tokens. And then, okay, a space is a separator token. Is this a separator token?
We don't care about it yet. Get rid of it.
Okay. Equal is a separator token. What about a hyphen?
We don't care about it yet. Get rid of it.
Okay. And single quote, we talk about that. Dollar
Yep.
sign, don't care about that yet. Open, close, clone, blah.
All of them. Get rid of all of them except for the last one.
Do you consider this last one, a separator
It's
token?
in your example. You put it on your little draw.io.
That's true. That's true. That's right. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me sane, Joe. I'm the oldest one in this group. Sorry, Paul. And sorry, Sam. You know, you guys are physically older, but my brain is just, you know, at this point in time, just a bag full of cats. I don't know what's going on there. So, okay. So forget about the
Could've seen
complex
me on
tokens.
Monday.
Sure. Let's throw away the complex tokens, okay? And let me throw away a whole bunch of other things that we don't care about. So let me throw away all of this.
Yeah.
Just hold your horses and don't harsh my mellow. Okay, hold your horses. Okay. So here's the deal. Back to this test. I'm gonna throw away this one. I'm gonna throw them all out. Completely all out. And then I'm just gonna go back to writing a new test from scratch, because that's who I am. Public async, no, just public void.
Given how simple this
Look
is,
at this. Look at the UI. Look at the AI. Sam, do you see what the Copilot is trying to do? It's trying to write stuff on its own, which is not cool. Okay, so I should tokenize query. This is where I'm gonna start. And you guys are gonna be okay with it because you love me so much. That's what it is. It's the truth. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna generate a random string that has a bunch of words and bunch of separator tokens sprinkled around. Remember when I told you about
can we code the random letter? I mean, let's focus on the main business.
Why don't we just? I'm sorry. You go, Sam. I'm sorry.
Why did you interrupt Sam, Joe? That's
because
so...
I don't have any social habit. Like I'm just a terrible social person. I suck at life. At least I caught myself.
Go ahead.
You know, welcome to the programming community.
That's the whole programming. That's the entire engineer community. You know, I just want you to know, Joe, you're in the right crew.
Yeah.
You know, I remember back in 2005, we had a dude coming into our company and telling us he sat down and he stayed very quiet in one of our design sessions. And then he was just watching us. We were literally going at each other's necks, just like this. Be like, no, that's wrong. And every time someone says it's wrong, his eyebrows just keep going up and up and up. And then by the end of the session, we were fine, just like we are right now. Be like, oh, okay, thanks, Joe. You know, we got it. I think it's a good point. So he came up to me and he was like, there is infinite number of violations that I've seen in this discussions that I don't know. Did you actually tell one of your colleagues that you're gonna really go after them and go to their house and knock on their door? And I was like, yeah, it's just a figure of speech. You know, why are you taking it too seriously? He's like, no, we need to talk about the company culture. And I was like, damn. Anyway, back to Sam. Go ahead, Sam. What were you saying? Yeah, let me remind you. You were saying, can we program against specific cases, right?
I mean, let's focus on the main part, so we can leave the test for the random letter. If it can work for the main part, we can add the.
You want to start you want to start with a very specific case and then randomize?
Yeah. Make sure it can work and focus on the main part. Focus on the implementation.
I just wanna make it really important for you to understand.
Okay, if it's just 1 minute to generate the random and create the test case, it's okay. But if we spend a lot of time to generate the test case, the case,
it'll take a second. But
yeah,
let's just see what Joe is up to. Go ahead, Joe.
Can you show your draw.io again?
Yeah, let's go back here. We're not going out of here today until we finish the tokenization service. Sorry, guys. So
it's got to be completely done. Ship
Good with
it.
that.
fully shippable.
All right.
Yes.
The bottom one,
Yeah.
that's our test case.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just one example. That's the example. Make it pass. Move on.
Not move on, randomize.
That's moving on.
Okay, that's your moving on. Okay.
I was going to suggest you had two tests. Your first test is I'm going to give it an individual character value and I'm going to match that and see if it returns the right token type. And then the second test is I'm going to give it some string which is completely random and I'm going to check that that spits out the right token types.
That string
Well,
has all the
remember-
token types that we care about right now.
Guys, remember, you forgot. You forgot everything I talked to you about, and I'm really disappointed. For the randomization, remember Euclid law of axioms. We want to start from the result. Remember how, this is the inputs, and then you work your way up to the results. The test starts from the input, from the results, and works its way back to the input. Do you understand? So we generate the result, the end goal, in the test, and then wait for your logic to do exactly that. I don't know why you forgot that part. That breaks my heart. That's novel idea you will appreciate for the rest of your careers in software engineering. And you're not listening to me. It's sad. I'm just messing with you. All right, let's go back to this.
Why would we listen? We're developers.
Of course. Of course you are.
You.
Of course you are. Screw you. Screw the government. Okay.
If I wanted to listen, I'd write something to do it for me. Sam's not impressed.
No, he is. So just so you guys understand, Sam, you will never see Sam going like, ha 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 ha, like that. He's laughing inside in his head. In here. In his mind, he's laughing. Okay, so here's the deal. Select, I'm just going to say name, and my expectation here is, or let's do filter, because let's make things a little bit interesting. So let's go here and say filter, and, filter equals name equal Sam. Just a moment.
Sam, not same. God damn it.
Yeah, why do I keep calling him Same? That's really stupid. Why do I
It's
do
because
that?
you filled the whole slot of memory that you have with Euclid's law of axiom. And you can't fit anything else anymore.
Okay, expected tokens, new token, and of course for the people watching us, this is it.
Is that tokenizing for us? Like it looked like it had
it's trying to do some crazy stuff. At this point in time, I'm starting to ignore it because it. Gosh dang it, Joe, with your nonsense.
Welcome to the team, Joe.
Yeah, look what it's doing. It just wrote that by itself.
That's nuts.
Well, that's good. You can see. It puts the Sam.
But why does it, dude? Why does it know that?
He knows a single quote is a wrap for the string.
You know what it's doing, right? It's reading the words. I was trying to find the best match of code examples on GitHub to kind of give you that. It's ridiculous. That basically tells me that someone somewhere is trying to do the work that we're doing. I'm telling you right now, someone somewhere, could be a private repo, I don't know, but
he also knows the property, maybe learn from our previous coding.
It does.
AI.
It could. I don't know.
Hang on a second. They're not O tokens at this point. Let's throw away anything to do with O data, right?
No, O token is just because you're in the Neo project. That's all.
Okay.
It's
a Neo token then, is it?
It's just I hope you guys appreciate the fact that I'm writing all of these at once at the same time. Nobody's appreciating that part, which kind of makes me sad.
Oh, I already did the multi-caret thing in a previous thing.
Yeah, you did, but did you do it as cool as this one though? That's the question, right? So filter, see, it figured out that this is that. And then based on the type, we're just gonna go and say word or separator. That's it. Do we have an agreement? Yes?
I like it.
Okay, let's go here. Let's go here. I don't need this conventions piece. I'm gonna throw it away.
Yep.
Let's get this done today, guys. Let's do this.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to suggest, we don't have to do it now, is rather than using an enum for the token type, use some other thing, because that's not extensible.
No.
So we'll do that later.
I'd be happy to just have strings for them.
Let's just stick with that for now. Let's stick with that for now, okay?
Mhm.
O token type, that would be a word. Word! And then let's go here and say equal. That's a separator, right? So this is a separator. Yeah, it is learning from our previous code because it just said operator. So yeah, you're right, Sam. That's actually true. And then we also have a value here, and this value will be a name. Who wants to be the champion today and let's give it to Paul. Paul didn't write code in 3 years. Paul, it's your
I
turn.
wrote code like half an hour before this meeting.
Yeah, but that's like PM code. We don't care about that.
PM code. You calling me Nick? Deeply offended.
And then
Paul's been having all sorts of fun issues.
Yeah.
who? Paul?
I
helped him out
wrote
with a couple of them.
Yeah,
wrote
last time he was in our call, he was miserable. What happened to you, Paul? What's wrong with you? Huh?
I hit a problem where we were ingesting data, and the data load on the system in order to validate and then import that data was too big, because I was trying to do too much in a single business operation, essentially as part of a HTTP request to the endpoint. So I had to break the problem down, which meant what I've basically done now is I've added Azure Service Bus, and I'm farming out chunks of the request, or pieces of the request, as messages that I'm sending off to Service Bus. And then I've got a dynamic event handler, which just reads the queue, figures out what to map, and then uses the dependency injector to instantiate the correct service and then execute the method. And it gives it the thing that's in the message. You'll be really proud of it.
Okay.
It's totally not to the standard at all, but it's pretty cool.
Okay.
He'd love it.
Okay, Paul. Okay.
Wouldn't he, Joe? He'd love it.
Yeah.
Did you see this thing thinking for me? It just did something really nasty. It kind of changed the string on me. You guys didn't see that part. That guy just changed on me real quick, just by itself.
That's
ridiculous. Yeah, that's annoying. Visual Studio team, don't play with me like that, dog. That's not gonna how we gonna play. Okay, there's this guy, and then should I do it this way? Do you guys prefer this one instead, or do you like this one?
Let's keep with the same pattern.
Okay. I like doing easy things. I do the easy things, we'll let Paul do the hard things. Look at this. This figured this out on its own. Look at this. That tells me something. It tells me that it thinks. It's become self-conscious, which is creepy. It missed one though, which is the single quote, right? So that's single quote.
Are you like the embarrassed self-conscious, or are you thinking self-aware?
Became self-aware.
Okay.
Yes.
It'd be funny if our code had feelings.
Yeah. But in this way,
feelings as a service, I like it.
Yeah.
2, 3.
Sam's like, oh, I'm done with you guys.
Sam is like, I'm done with these guys. I'm done.
So you consider if the string is very long, and have a lot of information, you will create a multiple hundreds tokens. But if we consider it's a whole thing, it's just one token.
I know, but
and consider if it's address value, you can put everything in the address string. You will in this case you will generate a lot of tokens, but it's okay. So you want to keep the tokenize as simple as possible. But later you will have spent a lot of time to consider it to get together as finalize a string later. But no matter how to build the tokenize, I don't think we will simplify the whole problem. I mean, if we put
we just
everything
broke it
at the
down.
beginning of the tokenize,
Yeah.
it's okay. Later, it's easy for later. But if we make the tokenize easy, it's hard later if we want to pass the tokenize into another token, the final token. It's okay. But we can continue on this part and
Why you
just
gotta
move on.
why you gotta shut me down like that? That really hurts me. You know? why you gotta do me like that? Damn, that was brutal. You just
No,
came.
I'm thinking about that. If we thinking the value could be a long string.
It could be useful to someone. We don't have to know it now. That's the trick.
Yes, I know. So we can continue on this implementation and figure out what we'll face later.
Yes.
I try to learn all of you. I'm not here to block all of you. I try to learn from Paul.
Paul, if you're gonna learn from Paul,
I don't know nothing, mate.
Remove line 13.
Total noob. I've only been out this 20 years. I haven't got a clue.
yeah. No,
Defer to someone with more experience.
no, Paul is all right. I like Paul. Paul is all
Me
right.
too. I like Paul's.
He's just got a funny accent. I don't know what's up with that. Go ahead, Paul. Make it pass.
Oh, it's
Let's go, son. Let's
Is it
go,
done yet?
mate. I don't think he knows how to use Visual Studio.
no.
See, I
Paul
went through
code.
an entire code base and I wrote everything and nobody trolled me once. You did this. You did this to yourselves. I didn't. You had your chance and you didn't say anything because you guys are respectful. You're professional engineers. I, on the other hand, when I sleep on the side of the road, people start throwing quarters at me because they don't know what I am, you know? So, anyway, Paul Wardy. Go ahead, Sam. What's wrong? Tell me.
Give me a couple minutes. I enjoy another meeting, and then we'll jump back later.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Paul, for all that is good and holy, zoom in. We're not holding microscopes here. See, he didn't code in a while. So reverse everything you have and sync. Reverse everything you have first.
All right.
Get reset hard.
Revert.
Revert.
Revert. There we go.
Okay. No, you still have dirty stuff.
What do you mean I still have dirty stuff?
Oh, never mind. I see what you're doing. Okay, fine. Go ahead. Have it. Go ahead. Paul.
Paul. Right,
Why do you have to?
Should we go back to your diagram? What were the separator chars that we want?
Oh, a space and a equal.
They're in the test.
Oh, they're in the test. Yeah, that
Are
makes
they?
sense.
Are they all?
You wrote the test. It's got to match that.
Okay, go to the test, son. That's not the test. Expand. Good job. There you are. So you want
equal space
and a single quote.
And the backslash.
Yep, and the backslash. Why do you have to define it so generic like that? We'll refactor later. Just make it pass. Let's go.
What do you mean?
Let's go.
Red, green, refactor.
Yes, red, green, blue.
What?
Blue because America. Yeehaw! Let's go.
Alright, so I take the raw query, yeah? Two char array, yeah? And then we just do...
Where is the single quote, son?
Also, why are you
Why is he single quoting the single quotes? So frustrating.
What are you on about?
What you
What is going on?
Okay, keep going. Let's just see what he's up to, Joe. Let him do his thing. It's a British people thing, you know. Let him.
A British people thing.
You gotta keep the order, just letting you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Does a
The order
link
of what?
select not keep the order?
your coding standard and guidelines is, how do I say this nicely? It's garbage. No, wait, let me internationalize this. It's rubbish.
Put it in a bag, light it on fire, and put it on someone's porch.
Why are you? Okay, I'll try to hold all my judgment for a second.
So many arrays.
What is he doing?
He's coding. This is how it happens.
See, this is right here is how I know he's okay.
Oh my god, it's happening.
Dude.
Jeez. Right. So now I've got.
Uh-huh.
Why is this not like this? What have I done here?
What do you mean?
It doesn't like my.
Maybe you need it to be a constant.
Why doesn't it like it?
What's it say?
It says
Are
it
you-
doesn't exist.
It doesn't
All
exist.
right, right click it and just tell it to create it.
Or just copy the one that you created at the top.
Yeah.
That
Did I
would be
just
nice.
not spell it right?
Yeah, that would be. Did you misspell your own language?
Also, you can't create a new constant
Yeah, that's right. He needs to hard code it.
or make it read only.
That works too. Actually, it needs to be merged into that method, but we'll come back to that one. Let's go, son.
Oh, we
Sun
can
is
spell it
getting
in if you want.
Sun's getting real low. Come
All
on,
right.
big guy.
Okay, suggestions then, guys. So I've got a token per character.
Uh,
So, and what we said was we'll just combine the ones that are next to each other that were word characters, right?
Well, we said we still need to honor the order.
Is this not going to honor the order?
I don't know. Go for it. See what happens. I don't know. I read the book. Why don't you just say return since you're so awesome? What is this doing? You're breaking it into characters, and you're
Yeah.
putting every character, and you're saying get the token type, and based on the yeah, go for it, man. I don't think this is gonna do a combination though, or it's gonna fail. But let's go.
No, it's not. So yeah, I'm literally asking now, right?
Yeah.
How would you do the combination?
Oh,
So if I've got here in my first set,
why don't you just write a regex expression like a normal person?
Sure, yeah. If you could just what was the NuGet package for the Fluent library that does, does
Fluent
it all?
NuGet, yeah, that's right. The guy had an outage yesterday. You know, I was really happy about people being like from all over the world, but now I have to deal with world disasters. Like Brian, he has this issue in Australia. Ricky has a problem with outage. You know, weather has become very important to me in the last couple of months, I have to say. So how are you gonna do this, Paul?
All right, let's break this down. For each
Oh,
RC in.
now you're just writing code like Joe. God help us all. Go ahead.
No. To write code like
You don't have to say to char array. It's smart enough to iterate.
It's already got an enumerator.
Oh, that's cool. Right. So to write code like Joe, I need to do this a few times.
Yep, that's pretty much Joe right there.
That's better. Yeah.
Joe with his can proceed and can't proceed. What? Like I'm looking at his code. I'm like, where's this guy from? Like, is he writing a tape on a?
Yeah.
No, I think it was all right. I just like to troll people a little.
I don't do object oriented. I just do all sequential code.
Love to live on the risky side.
Go tos and
Oh yeah, go tos. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's not code smell at all. And continue. Every time I see continue in a for loop, I'll be like, ooh, Me likey. Love that.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Paul?
I don't know. You guys
Just
are
type a
distracting me.
freaking if statement.
Write a friggin' if statement.
You need to write an if statement that says, if this current character is a separator, then create its own token. If it's not, then append to the previous one. And that's it.
That was the
I
bit that
have
was
an
missing.
alternative to it as well.
Yeah.
That's gonna be you, Joe. You're gonna refactor it.
Okay, good.
The story of the world, right? So Paul writes the code, and then the American makes it popular. Sounds like English to me. Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun with you. When my hands are not working, my mouth is talking.
Yeah, and then we'll just have to have
Why doesn't
Sam,
he scope his
Sam
if
get to
statements?
market quicker than we can.
Yeah, why isn't he scoping his if statement? What's the matter with this bloke?
I mean, he could just put it up on the same line.
Jeez, you guys are crazy. Wow. You're out of your minds, both of you.
I put curly brackets on everything.
You may as well write it in Python, you crazy maniac. What's wrong with you?
Have you ever tried programming in white space?
Oh, is it? I think someone talked to me about that before.
Yeah,
know,
the entire language is just white
Just
space
white spaces.
characters. I'm
It's
just
like
like,
it's like brain fuck. Have you ever seen the programming like
Yeah.
brain fuck yet? Yep.
Yeah. I think someone even made a Morse code programming language.
Mm, mm.
Right.
Just warning me.
Yeah.
Just pop that for a minute.
All right.
Daddy, we're shopping now.
You going shopping with Mummy, are you? Okay, fair enough.
Luke, can you give that to Dad?
All right.
Dad, here's your killed it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Just killed it.
Oh,
Fair enough. Is there
Paul
another-
is talking to his family. It's like watching a movie from the 1700s.
Yeah. So Hassan,
ahead.
did you watch the presentation from this dude? I don't know what the actual presentation was about, but he made he ended the presentation with a language that he did called Rockstar, and basically you had to perform a rock ballad as the programming language. Oh yeah, it's on YouTube. It's a great one.
Please share it. Please
Yeah.
Do you know how many days it took? Was it Ilric? Do you know how long it took that guy to
JavaScript?
invent JavaScript? Yeah.
It was 3 days, right? Or less than
10
a day.
days. 10 days.
Yeah, 10 days. It was, and what was it? He did it so that he could put it on like a VCR or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't really try to dominate the browser market or anything. He said, oh, just something simple that runs. And he even called it
Java.
he even called it JavaScript because Java was so popular and he wanted Java people to be attracted to it. So he said, oh, let's just call it JavaScript. And look what he did. He destroyed, some man just wants to see the world burn to ashes, you know. Paul, are you struggling with writing code?
I've had a long week.
There it is. Copy.
You know, it's like reading his code. I can hear the British accent. It's weird. What's up
It
with
is.
that?
You can
Like
hear
I-
the British
Like
accent.
I'm reading his code right now. This is how it goes in my head. You know, result to array
Right.
to array.
In all
I-
seriousness,
Let's run this silly
what's your
thing.
favorite tea?
Oh, you just started war with. Just tell him Lipton. Tell him Lipton. He'll get pissed off. Hey, Paul, Lipton is the best tea in the world.
Wow. It's okay. I understand. You're American. Oh god. What right? What did I screw up here?
Everything,
Everything. Yeah.
Paul.
You can make that little window bigger if you want.
Little window.
That drag the little. I'm trying to move it on my TV here, but it doesn't work. Do you ever do this when you're on the phone with someone? You're
Yep.
pointing at your screen like they can see
Yep.
you.
Yep. You're pointing at the screen and saying, "Oh, it's right there." Be like, "Where?" It's
Where?
right there. Here, I pushed this down a little so.
I think you can get some more nesting in there if you want.
No, we it's into a for loop.
Are you kidding me, bro? Are you out of your? Oh my God.
Why are you doing a for loop now? Oh, go back. Just to have it convert for you. That way you don't have to type all the extra stuff.
Convert for me? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
Like,
put it back to a for each and just have the IntelliSense refactoring do it for you. So just do your control dot, convert to for.
done.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Why else would I tell you to do it?
Go the second option.
Down.
No way! I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, it does
No.
all sorts of crazy stuff for you. It even creates your variable for you.
Because you're Paul.
Shut up, you.
Why do you need that though, you know?
Because I want to check on the next character, right? Because if the next character is a separator,
Then you call it off. Then you add the previous value of current value and then you end there. We'll clean up your crazy. Don't worry, just keep going. You're
I'm getting so jumpy right now.
Yeah,
I'm
I know. Like there's 50,000 things that can be done. Let's go.
all right, current value.
Oh yeah, I remember that video. That's a very popular video. I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
just
Yeah.
watch like the last 5 minutes. He actually plays the song, plays the program essentially, and it's just really good. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to compliment you on the Nick Chopsis interview.
Oh, you'll like that edition.
Yeah, I just the way he speaks and everything. It's just you could sit there and watch like an hour video of his
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
worry about it all.
Yeah.
Watching an hour long of you talking, a little different.
I have my own fans.
My ears start bleeding.
I was talking to this kid Mehdi yesterday, and he said to me, "But your videos are so long." And I was like, "Yeah, that's intentional, because if you're not patient, you're not gonna learn anything. That's just old school, you know. You gotta sit down and listen to me rambling until you actually learn something, you know." But Nick is very social media, YouTube. He's a creator. He's a content creator. I am just someone who creates content. He's a content creator.
Well, he just showed that his plaque for reaching 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, 100,000. Yeah,
100,000. That's right.
Yep.
Crazy. That's a lot of subscribers.
Yeah. No, I like Nick. I think he's great.
I like his focus on some of the deeper performance things. Not too many people do that.
Yep.
Running the benchmarks, talking about them.
So every one of these creators, you know, content creators, you know, you'll notice that they will tell you up front, you know, this is my focus, this is my theme of doing things, right? Some people will tell you, you know, I like more just quick bites, 10 minutes, take it or leave it. You know, the thing that's very interesting about Nick is that he likes to evolve. He's quitting his day job and he's saying I'm doing this full time because I don't edit anything. Again, I am someone who creates content versus someone who is a content creator. That's a very different, that's heaven and earth. He puts time into the music and the graphics and all that. I'm like, here it is, consume it the way you like. And just leave me alone. I did my part. I taught you. I have other things to worry about. Like these 5 hours that I would spend in editing, I need to research kind of decentralizing an architecture and do something completely different or building a NuGet package, right? So you should be grateful. That's the point. and still Paul is not getting it right. What's wrong with you? What happened to you in high school?
I'm having a bad day.
Oh, should we give it to Joe? Let's have Joe have a go at it.
Or we could just talk him through a couple solutions and he can keep coding.
Yeah, but that
Yeah,
would be a
I'm-
nice thing to
Oh.
do. Why would we do that?
I'm totally thinking about this the wrong way.
So hear me out.
Yeah.
Hear me out, Paul. All you gotta do, remove all of that stuff that you just did. All of it.
Okay. All I gotta do is this, right? Yeah.
All
go
of
for
this
it.
is garbage, okay? And all I want you to do, let's just iterate over that query. Just say for each var char in raw query. Just start like that. Easy and simple. Easy does it. No problem there. Okay? All right. Here's a good start. Okay? It's a good start for you, but I'm gonna do it differently. But this is just the level of, like, I'm trying to get you to feel like you accomplished something. So let's just go this way. So here's the deal. Just create a list of O tokens at the top. Empty list of O tokens. Yeah. Result. Sure. Look at you go.
Ah, I'm tight.
Yep,
This is how bad
open
it's
close
gotten.
parentheses. Great. And then under that one, just create another one, which is a string builder. See, very simple and easy. Word, just say word.
Okay, we're calling this word,
X,
are we?
really?
Word
can't-
building.
I can't believe you. Okay. Or word builder. I like word builder. Good job, Joe.
How you doing?
Hi, Sam.
We,
Oh, hi, Sam. Welcome to the
Hi.
conversation.
I assume
Okay.
you should finish the couple of minutes ago.
He should have, but
well, he
you
just
know,
undid everything.
yeah. So
Let's start
hang
again.
on. So let's go this way. If the value is a separator token, let's do this.
For the separate charts, maybe we can create a dictionary for each.
Yeah. I know. Trust me.
Mhm.
There's a really nice way we can do this. I just want to get the test to pass.
Ah,
Trust me. Okay, so if it's a separator token, you just go and add a new token. So you say result.add and then add a new token in there. No problem. No harm, no foul. You suck. Let's go. Let's go. Value. Value, and then add the character in there.
We may want to make a constructor at some point if
Maybe.
we're only ever adding these two things.
Yeah, two string, and then separator, right. And at the bottom of this, Paul, after you do two string, after you do that, just do this for me. Type word builder.clear. Still inside the if statement. Okay, perfect. Let's go to the other case, which is the else statement. In here, you're just gonna keep going and saying word builder dot append. Perfect. Now hear me out. In the part where there is a separator token, we need to do an if word builder has stuff in it, then create a token for word. If it doesn't, then go ahead and if it doesn't, then just ignore. Do you hear me out? So you see line 33?
32.
Yeah,
Line
32. Yeah, line 32. See if your word builder has stuff in it. Yep. And then whatever inside that word builder, create a token in there. Yep, and that token will be the word builder value itself.
Word builder.toString.
That's right. And then inside that if statement, clear out that word builder. Just inside that if statement. So move that word builder.clear that you have already. Sure. Okay. So now remove that word builder clear in line 43. And then move that if statement to the top.
This one.
Yeah, move that guy to the top.
Yeah.
Dunzo. And then clean out the empty lines and all the garbage that you have in there. That should work. Oh, before I forget, your result add, you did that. Okay, result, yeah, you should be good. Now just return the thing as an array. What do you think, Joe? Do you think that'll work?
Good. Can you
Good.
add your curly brackets back to
No,
44?
let him. He's being like that on purpose. I know what he's doing. You know,
Yeah.
it's okay.
No, it's fine.
So look. Come on, man, let's go. My dude, you're wasting time. Let's go. Okay, now let's see what the problem is. I want you to put a breakpoint on actual versus expected, and let's see what happened. It's very possible that my expected is wrong. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yep, breakpoint. Sam, do you have a nice trick to compare two variables together? Of course you have it. Okay, let's look at our expected tokens first. Sorry, actual tokens. Actual.
I usually just put them in my watch and then expand them and then make the diagnostic.
That would work. That would work, actually. It's not too bad.
Yeah. So expand any one of those real quick.
So we have 13 tokens.
Yeah.
Check the expect. No, check the number of the expect.
Oh, yeah. What's the number of tokens in the expected, Paul?
14.
Yeah, that's the problem right there.
So add that to your watch as well.
Yeah, my expected in the test might have been wrong, but let's just see.
You can just right click them and say add to watch. Also, expand any one of those and hit the two little pins next to type in value.
Oh, maybe Hassan forgot.
On the right-hand side.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I forgot something. So
there you go. Now collapse that back up and you can see them all.
nice, Joe. I love this. So okay, filter equal name value.
White space. Forgot a white space after S.
At the very end, I put 3 white spaces.
No, 3 white space.
Where, Sam?
No. Oh.
Where, son?
The Sam slash, the slash after Sam.
Oh, yep.
In the expected or the actual? Ah.
In the actual tokens.
Yeah. So our parsing didn't honor the slash. Let's go to your code.
Yeah.
Your code. I thought he did, though. I thought he did, actually. Yeah, he did. It's right there.
No, go back to the test.
It's not in the test. It's not a test problem.
Well, no, we got to look at the original string.
Let's look at the original string.
Yeah.
Here.
You need 2.
Yeah, that's right. Do we?
No. Yeah, because you're looking at the character backslash.
That's right.
You need 2 backslashes there.
That's right. Just another backslash there.
There. Now it should pass.
Now it's gonna pass.
Yep.
Yay! Easy peasy. So it was all my fault from the beginning, Paul. Your code was all right. Nah, I'm just saying that to make you feel better. Now we need to randomize this, but that would be the next session. Put this as a passing test, Paul.
I think that's what Paul wants.
That's what he wanted, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he has been telling us about for 3 sessions now.
It simplifies the parser.
And it
Probably
makes Paul happy. You look
at his face. He's happy, I know.
3 sessions? It's been a lot longer than that. You can see how much fatigue I'm suffering. I couldn't even write the code.
Okay, just push it all up. You know you could commit and push all at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Don't let Paul know that.
Anyway, listen, guys, it's been fun, working with you today. I really love these sessions. I want you to know that. I think it's really fun to kind of see people kind of coming together and building things. And just like I said, a lot of people are really interested in the work that we're doing. The next step would be to randomize that stuff, right? Ideally, in the ideal world, the person who makes the test pass writes the failing test. We're gonna give Paul a go there. Prepare for it, Paul. But before then, Joe, why don't you take, the stuff that Paul did and try to refactor a little bit? Unless what Paul wrote is actually your ideal state, in which case we're gonna
What
need to
I
have a
was thinking
conversation.
would actually what you assisted in writing here is slightly more efficient, just because I was going to um, basically get the index and then start truncating parts of the string, so that would be less memory efficient. So
I'll try to have a go at it. I want to make this a little bit simpler to understand. Even with the state that it's in, it works, but that doesn't mean it passed the blue test. I want
yeah,
someone who graduated. We need someone who never been professionally a software engineer. We want one of these kids, Elbic or Mahdi or any of these kids. I want them to come in because they are going to be our measure of not being sitting up there in our ivory towers and saying, "Oh, that makes sense to me," and Paul and Sam and Joe, but we've all have been in the industry for 10 plus years. It's okay, right? And then you end up with people that have absolutely no idea what this code is doing. This is for senior engineers out there and managers, engineering managers, this is the biggest value that new people on the team bring. They keep you on the ground. Anyway, I appreciate you all. This was fun. Let's continue doing that. The O node service is going to be doing something very, very interesting, and we might need to introduce an additional stage in between what we think O node is and what the tokenization is doing. Maybe we need a convention service that takes words and separators and turns them into more sophisticated types of things. And then the O node service will be only responsibility is to build the tree of that expression. So you see how we're separating the responsibility as we go? So maybe we're just gonna need an OData convention service. And then after that, we're gonna need an OData node service and so on and so forth. Okay, we can discuss this next time. For the people watching, as usual, if you have any questions, comments, concerns,
There are
compliments
a
for
lot
these
of
gentlemen,
questions.
what's wrong with you?
There are a lot of questions.
That's okay. The questions is good.
Yes.
Don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys later. Take care.